Men over 40 are choosing to stay single and feeling much happier. And it's not just me saying this, data and research are proving this growing trend. Recent behavioral studies reveal that this male generation is making a conscious and deliberate choice for singlehood, not out of lack of opportunities or bitterness, but through a mature decision based on decades of lived experiences. These men have reached a powerful conclusion. Peace of mind and personal autonomy are precious assets that cannot be traded for relationships that drain energy, cause unnecessary stress, and compromise mental health. They've learned that quality of life isn't measured by the presence of a partner, but by the absence of drama, conflicts, and demands that turn home into an emotional battlefield. Men over 40 no longer want headaches, coming home from work to enter a room full of confusion, with a woman asking why he took 10 minutes longer or demanding explanations about every detail of his day. After years building careers, facing professional pressures, and dealing with adult life responsibilities, what these men desire most is to find tranquility when they walk through their front door. Many have already experienced toxic relationships, where trust was replaced by constant surveillance, companionship gave way to suffocating control, and love transformed into an endless series of justifications and accountability. They've also witnessed or personally lived through devastating separations that resulted in disproportionate alimony, taking on financial responsibilities for children who aren't theirs, while watching assets built with years of hard work be divided unfairly. These experiences haven't made them bitter, but they've definitely made them wise and selective. The transformation happens when these men finally internalize maturity's most valuable lesson. Learning to love yourself isn't selfish, it's essential self-care. They've deeply understood that aging in peace, surrounded by personal purposes, enjoyable hobbies, true friendships, and absolute freedom to make their own decisions is infinitely more valuable than loving amid chaos, emotional instability, and exhausting arguments. This generation of mature men isn't running from genuine love, they're running from suffering disguised as a relationship. And now, I'm going to reveal the 7 main reasons that explain in detail why men over 40 are making this conscious choice and transforming singlehood into a synonym for authentic and lasting happiness. From now on, you'll hear everything the media hides from you, the hidden truth that many fear to speak openly about. So subscribe to the channel immediately, activate the bell, leave your like and comment. Together we are stronger, so the algorithm pushes this video to more men who are blind to reality. It's not enough for you to wake up alone, we need to create a network of conscious and informed men. Now let's get to what really matters. First reason, they've lived through relationships. They know the pros and cons of being committed. Men over 40 carry with them valuable baggage that younger men don't yet possess, real relationship experience. They've been through intense dating, long marriages, painful breakups, and reconciliations that didn't work out. They know firsthand the feeling of sharing life with someone, dividing dreams, building projects together, and have also experienced the weight of constant concessions, unmet expectations, and sacrifices that weren't always recognized. This experience has given them brutal clarity about what works and what doesn't work in a relationship. With all this accumulated experience, these men have developed a sharp, critical sense that allows them to accurately assess whether it's worth embarking on a new relationship or simply enjoying their hard-won freedom. They know exactly how much effort, emotional energy, and time are necessary to maintain a healthy relationship, and they also know the warning signs that indicate when a relationship is heading toward exhaustion. This awareness makes them extremely selective, and many reach the conclusion that the cons outweigh the pros, especially when they've already found peace and balance living alone. Second reason, fewer expenses, savings on gifts, dinners, and trips for two. The financial reality of maintaining a relationship is something few openly admit, but mature men perfectly understand the impact on their wallet. Birthday gifts, Valentine's Day, Christmas, invented commemorative dates, frequent restaurant dinners, romantic trips, entertainment expenses for two, and even the small daily expenses accumulate significantly over time. When single, these men notice their money goes much further, allowing investments in themselves, in hobbies, in improvements to their own home, or simply building a more robust financial reserve for the future, beyond direct savings. There's also the elimination of financial risks associated with failed relationships. Many men in this age group have already gone through the traumatic experience of unfair property divisions, alimony that compromises a large part of their monthly income, or simply the wear of footing expenses alone that should have been shared. By remaining single, they protect not only their present finances but also their future, ensuring that every penny earned with their work is directed toward their own priorities and well-being, without the pressure or obligation to support others' expectations. Third reason, preserved mental health. No drama and exhausting arguments. Mental health has become a non-negotiable priority for men over 40, and they've learned the hard way that toxic relationships are devastating to emotional balance. Endless discussions about trivial matters, fights motivated by unfounded jealousy, constant emotional demands, manipulation disguised as love, and the stress of trying to please someone who's never satisfied are experiences that leave deep scars. After living years in this type of destructive dynamic, these men discovered that the absence of daily conflicts brings an incomparable lightness to everyday life. Living alone, they experience a mental peace they haven't felt in a long time. There's no more need to justify every action, defend every choice, or walk on eggshells to avoid emotional explosions. The home environment transforms into a true refuge, a decompression space where it's possible to recharge after a challenging day, instead of being another source of stress. This preservation of mental health directly reflects in sleep quality, work disposition, patience with daily challenges, and even physical health, creating a virtuous cycle of well-being that would be impossible to maintain in problematic relationships. Fourth reason: strengthened friendships. More time to cultivate true friendships. Romantic relationships, especially the more demanding ones, have the power to consume all of a man's free time, leaving little or no space for genuine friendships. Men over 40 who choose singlehood discover they can finally invest quality time in friends who've been by their side for years, those who offered unconditional support in difficult times and celebrated together in victories. These meetings with friends are no longer rushed or filled with guilt about neglecting their partner, but rather full moments of laughter, deep conversations, and authentic companionship. Mature male friendships have immeasurable value that's often underestimated. These men share similar experiences, offer practical advice without judgment, provide emotional support without drama, and create meaningful memories together. Whether at a weekend barbecue, a soccer game, fishing trips, trips with friends, or simply sincere conversations over beer, these connections feed the soul in a way that complicated romantic relationships never could. The freedom to cultivate these friendships without restrictions, jealousy, or demands brings a relational richness that completely fulfills these men's lives. Fifth reason: contentment with their own company. They don't feel loneliness, they feel solitude. There's a fundamental difference between loneliness and solitude that mature men have learned to distinguish perfectly. Loneliness is the painful feeling of being alone and feeling empty, helpless, or incomplete. Solitude, on the other hand, is the ability to enjoy one's own company, find peace in silence, and feel complete without depending on another person's constant presence. Men over 40 who chose to stay single have developed this rare ability to transform moments alone into pleasurable experiences, whether reading a book, watching a movie they really enjoy, practicing hobbies, or simply contemplating life in silence. This emotional autonomy is liberating and extremely powerful. They don't need external validation to feel complete, don't depend on constant messages to feel loved, and don't panic when they spend an entire weekend alone. In fact, many of these men eagerly await these moments of solitude, where they can reconnect with themselves, reflect on their goals, plan the future, or simply exist without masks or expectations. This unshakable inner peace is something no mediocre or toxic relationship could provide, and that's why they fiercely protect this achievement. Sixth reason: they learn to love themselves enough not to beg for attention. The self-love journey is probably the deepest transformation that happens with mature men who choose singlehood. After years trying to be enough for partners who always wanted more, doing emotional juggling to keep relationships alive, and sacrificing parts of themselves to please the other, these men finally had a powerful revelation. They are enough exactly as they are. They don't need to beg for affection, plead for attention, compete for crumbs of care, or lower themselves to be noticed. This mindset shift completely revolutionizes how they view relationships and life itself. When a man truly learns to love himself, he establishes high standards he's not willing to negotiate. He'd rather be alone in peace than accompanied in desperation. He no longer accepts disrespect disguised as honesty, emotional manipulation masked as intense love, or relationships where he constantly needs to prove his worth. This solid self-love functions as a protective shield against toxic relationships and people who drain energy. They know their company has value, their time is precious, and their peace of mind isn't for sale at any price, not even for the promise of not being alone in old age. Seventh reason: they understood that aging in peace is more valuable than loving in chaos. Maturity brings with it a wisdom that can only be acquired through lived experience, the understanding that quality of life in the second half of existence is infinitely more important than keeping up appearances or following social scripts about how we should live. Men over 40 have already passed the expected midpoint of their lives, and this awareness of finitude brings brutal clarity about what really matters. They don't want to waste their remaining years in turbulent relationships, senseless arguments, or trying to fix something that's irreparably broken. The vision of aging in a peaceful environment, without daily conflicts, surrounded by things and people that genuinely bring joy, has become the ultimate goal. This prioritization of peace isn't giving up, cowardice, or fear of commitment. It's emotional intelligence at its highest level. These men have observed long-term couples who reached old age, worn out, embittered, and unhappy, united only by habit, fear of loneliness, or social conventions. They've seen relationships that transformed into emotional prisons where neither party is happy, but both remain out of inertia. Faced with these realities, making the conscious choice to age alone but in peace becomes not just a viable option, but the most sensible and courageous decision. They understood that true love should never cost one's own sanity, and that being at peace with oneself is the purest form of love that exists. If this video made sense to you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment gratitude. This helps the algorithm spread this message to other men who need to know the teachings of our channel. Each interaction strengthens this mission to open eyes and rescue male self-esteem. Thank you for being here. Keep following along because every week we bring reflections and tools to help you regain emotional control and become your best version. Big hug, and until the next video,